Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to the Psychic Training Ground, the most encouraging, supportive, uplifting place to be. This place is for students, teachers, trainees, and professionals who wish to help those who wish to help themselves.
Good evening and welcome to the Psychic Training Ground, and today we have a very special mix-up of our Law of Attraction experts. All of these guys are good friends of mine, and I like to think Law of Attraction experts along their route. A lot of them I've met through my group or through other groups, and actually all stars of my movie that I made very recently, The Law of Attraction Changed My Life. So I'm just going to play a trailer which features all of them, and that lasts about 5 minutes, and then we'll have a chat, and then we'll bring each of them on. So I'll see you in about 5 minutes.
By the time I got into my teenage years, I was messing around first with sniffing glue, then with harder drugs.
My relationship broke down and I hit a really, really hard time at that point.
I found out that my ex, who I split up with from just under a year prior to that, had killed himself. So that was quite a mad blow, and I spent the whole of my 26 pretty much depressed and zombified.
My house was so amazing, you know, people would come into the house and they would say, my gosh, what don't you have? And I said, happy.
Basically, the reason I love doing processes is because the days on which you do a process, life is incredible. It's like colourful, joyful, exciting, just good. It's good to be alive.
Actually, I didn't use the focus wheel a lot. I knew about it, but I didn't really, use it a lot. But after Nick's group, I started using focus wheels much more.
And he's this young guy who's got so much vision and so much love, so much everything going on. I'm excited about his journey, and I can't wait to see where he's going to be in the next 5 years or whatever. He's going to go best. And instantly I just started feeling better. Weird things started happening. I started winning books and getting free theatre tickets.
I had an intention that I wanted to lose weight, that I wanted to get myself into prime physical shape. I had amazing results in a very, very short time. I think I lost 22 pounds in 10 weeks.
And then the next day at work, I was at work, and then I was given a job on that exact same gate to board that plane. I knew it because I've been thinking about it for 24 hours. So you do see like the synchronicities in that way.
And then he came back to my shop to meet me, and we had the most wonderful time. And I told him that I loved him, and I didn't ever told my other boyfriend, my previous boyfriend, I loved him, but I was so confident with him, so open, and he felt the same for me, and we're still together after 6 years, and with 2 children, wonderful children, we're together.
Went for an interview on the Friday, and on the Monday I started the job. And you know what I mean, if that's not law of attraction, and just getting happy and something comes up, I don't know what it is.
Now I get up in the morning, I open my curtains, I look out and I think, what an amazing city. How much diversity is there? Look at those clouds, look at these people, what a great place to live. It's just, I'm a completely different person.
And for me, it's the realization that I really can,
do something that I enjoy. I can be, do I have anything I want?
I try to live in a state of
unconditional love. And I have to say, it is amazing.
And the feeling I experience about wanting it and getting it is just like the pleasure of being alive. There are so many things in my life now to be happy. If I focus on those things, then life will be good.
And I still get those moments myself, but then you just catch yourself and you go, whoa, and you bring yourself back into alignment. So yeah, it is that feeling good.
Okay, so that was the trailer to the movie I made with all my wonderful stars. It brings back so many good memories listening to that, and I would like to make a thank you to Roger, who did the music for that. Roger Hansen, www.spiritinspiredlife.com. He, Jay, and I have another radio show which we do in the week. And it's just such a pleasure to work with so many leading co-creators. Hopefully Lucinda should be standing by. So Lucinda, I'm just going to bring you on the air now, if you're there. Give it a sec. Hello?
Hi Nick, can you hear me okay?
Oh, yay!
Yay!
We're live.
Just it.
How are you, sweetie? How have you been up to?
I'm great. How are you doing, Stefan, then?
I'm very, very good. Anything that you want to share that's been going on? How life is so good, or how untrusted it is, or anything you want to share for our beginners or experts?
Life is good, and what changed my life utterly and completely and magically was the Abraham Hicks teachings. Life has not been the same since I read Ask and It's Given. And I genuinely agree with Neil Donald Walsh, who calls it one of the most powerful books on the planet. People should buy it today if they haven't read it, and check it out, because it works. So life is good. How are you?
I'm very, very good. I'm very refreshed.
You've been away recently, haven't you? You went to Antarctica.
Thank you. I went to America for a while for a holiday, and whilst over there, I set up and toured a group in San Diego, and that was absolutely amazing. Really, really good, because I've never met any of these guys before. And like any other group, as you well know, it's a whole mix of energy, some beginners, some experts. I mean, a lot of these guys had known about Abraham and Law of Attraction for the past, 20 years, when I was like, 5 years old. So you've got some real mix of people who've never even heard of it and just thought it'd be interesting to come along. So it was really, really nice to be in that energy, because it's very refreshing. Because I think what we have in London is like really leading edge space with all the different groups. Really are sport for choice with the amount of groups that we've got going on. Do you want to tell some of the listeners about all the groups that we've got going on in London, and your experiences of them?
Oh my God. Well, you're so right, Nick. We're blessed in London. There's your group, and there's another wonderful group that Michael runs with Tracy. Tracy's actually just gone to America to lead a Law of Attraction group over there with her partner, who's also a Law of Attraction coach, which is amazing. But there are new groups being set up all the time. So London is a great place to learn about Law of Attraction and the Abraham Hicks teachings. But what I love about your group, Nick, is that, you started in London, you went to Brighton, you do stuff in Manchester, and you're now going around to different cities in America holding one-off groups. So I just find that so exciting. And then you're going worldwide as well.
Yeah, I'll take that one. But that's the thing, though. I just want to plant the seed of inspiration, because there's only one of whoever, and it's just to spread my brand of inspiration wherever I go. And if people like it, great, and if not, then that's cool too. But actually, I do mention Lily Fluger, as she comes to mind, because she has kindly taken on the leading in San Diego now. So I'm going to be sending out details to my group about her next thing, and hopefully there will, people in touch after the group and exchanging details. So, who knows where I'll go. But that was my intention, just to, plant a seed and see how it goes. So yes, world domination coming up.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else you wanted to share or ask or anything like that?
I want to ask you, Nick, how you got into all of this, the Abraham Hicks teachings and law of attraction. What was your entry point?
It was, years and years ago, I read Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, and for me that was my first life-changing moment, because it taught me that you don't have to live your life in a kind of a default state. So that kind of changed my life in a big way, and I thought, well, there's no point worrying about it because you can't do anything about it, and once you trust that you can handle it, then you're good to go, really. And then I came across Louise Hay's work, which always resonated on some level, but I didn't always get it. And then I watched her DVD, You Can Heal Your Life. Then that had Esther and Jerry and stuff. And watching them was amazing. Again, it still didn't click. And then I watched their YouTube clips, and obviously almost everyone has said that they came across Abraham on YouTube, and that was a big catalyst for them. And then I went to a cruise and heard about people talking about it in groups in London. I thought, I want to check that out because it's just nice to share, isn't it, with different people. And then I went to Michael's group, and then I met Tracy, and I met a whole load of other friends. And then together we all started doing the process, the focus wheels, the list of appreciation, and then that's what spurred on everything in the past 2.5 years. And here we are today. So it's been a really, really quick but amazing journey, and I'm always saying to everyone, like, this year's been the best year, what on earth could happen next year, type thing. So in a nutshell, that's it. And I think for me, the practicality of doing the process every day, I'm not saying that everyone has to, but just being conscious of it, I think that's made the biggest difference, and that's part of what I want to spread and teach more of. So here we are.
Yeah.
Cool thing. Well, it's lovely to talk to you. I've got Patricia and Paul standing by, and I know we're running out of time, so I'm going to mute you, love. Hopefully Marzia will show up. But if you stand by listening, and then I'll bring everyone on once we're ready. So see you in about five minutes.
Lovely. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, sweetheart. Awesome. Bye. Okay, so I'm going to bring Paul on now, who's our latest host. Hopefully he's standing by. Paul, you are live on there. Are you there?
Hi, Nick. Can you hear me? Oh, brilliant. It worked first time. Excellent.
Effortlessly. No ways, but... Cool. Well, first of all, I want to rampage about how brilliant you are, because I've known you for a few months, and ever since the first time you came to my group, I'm like, he knows his stuff. And it's just, people are just captivated when you talk, because you, and actually I want to get Heather on at some point, because you're both, your energy and your knowingness is amazing, and always interesting to hear your guys' stories at the groups, and you agreed to be part of my film, and it's just, I just love it.
And it's been an absolute pleasure for me too, and it makes my appreciation lists very regularly. I really do get a lot from attending your group, and for me, being part of a community or a fellowship of people all doing the same stuff is the one thing that keeps me focused, because I think as we go through life, we can hit contrast and we can hit problems, and it can be, if we don't have that fellowship, it can be so easy to fall away from it and to go off on our merry way and go back to the default of living life by default, I guess.
And that's a really good point. And whilst I always thought you don't need anyone else, it is nice to share. Because on my holiday, again, I didn't have anyone to share this with, and that's always a kind of, but it made me appreciate everyone so much more when I came back, because I know that you contacted me with your booklet, actually, which we'll talk about shortly, that you came up with, and so appreciative you'd come to me and say, look, here's something that I've done, what do you think? And it was just nice to say, well, that it's brilliant. And how did that go for you? What did you put into the booklet, and what's your advice?
Well, a brief synopsis, and I'm still working on it. It's still very much a work in process, a work in progress. Several months ago, I came across this booklet that somebody had devised a couple of years back that was a 30-day change your life plan with a whole list of Abraham Hicks quotes and different processes to work as you go through the day. And I printed this off, and it was so many pages. I think I used a whole ream of paper printing this thing. And I was working through it, and I was thinking, I could make this simpler. I could adapt this, I could modify it and do it in such a way that it can be filled in on a computer without the need for a printer. I don't know if you know, but I come from a background of IT and design, so it wasn't something, it was like I was using a talent I'd already had. And the basic premise is it's going to be about 3 or 4 pages of a Word document, formatted in such a way that there's a section for filling in an appreciation list, there's a section for doing the universe list, the placemat process, and a couple of other things as well, and just a few guidelines it's divided into 3 stages: an early morning process list, as the day goes on process list, and processes for nighttime. It's very, very simple. And interpretation, and it's just to make life a little bit easier. I mean, all these little tools, these little processes, they all help.
And how have you found from your own experience that you've chosen these particular processes or these particular ways of doing the processes that you want to pass on? What is it about these things that you've enjoyed doing that made you say, I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to put it this in, I'm going to do it this way?
I've been using the law of attraction for a couple of years and following the book Ask and It Is Given, which I also would recommend to everybody. It's a real, it covers absolutely everything anybody could ever need to know. But before that, I always had a bit of an inclination towards spiritual principles and recognized the value of appreciation, or gratitude as some people refer to it. I recognized the value of meditation, and there were certain processes as well that were reworking of very old ideas, such as the process of handing it to the manager. Now, most of the spiritual paths that we come across will speak about handing your life or handing your guidance over to the care of a power greater than ourselves that some people will call God. Some people find difficulty with that, and so I tend to have more inclination towards the more traditional things, even though they have been reworked for this modern age. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can explain any more than that, really. I find certain things very, very simple, and I find things like meditation and appreciation at the core of most spiritual messages.
Oh, that's a good point. And how have you applied it in your daily thing, or how have you found it works in your life, or how do you go about, using?
In the morning, I will typically get out of bed, have a cup of tea or coffee, have a small breakfast, and then go straight into meditation. And I find that most of my inspiration will come to me through meditation. Most of my best decisions will come while I'm meditating. Some of my best inspiration and best ideas of all have come in the middle of a meditation session where I've just had to leap up and forget the meditation and just crack on with the day. I've noticed that when I don't do these things, I can start turning life into a struggle. I've noticed the difference and how I feel. After meditation, I will do a process called the universe list. I don't know if you want me to explain that to anybody who may be listening.
Give it to complete beginners if they've never heard of this and they don't know what.
Well, the universe list, also known as the placemat process, was originally devised by Esther Hicks. I think she had a day ahead of her where she didn't feel like she was going to get everything done. So she got a placemat from where she was sitting, she divided it into 2, and on the left-hand side, she wrote down all the things she felt she could deal with during that day, the easy stuff. On the right-hand side, she wrote a list of the things she wanted her source or the universe to take care of for her, the more difficult things. And that's the premise of it. So on the left-hand side, I may write, I'll have a bath, I'll have a decent breakfast, I'll eat well, I'll do processes, I'll finish off a few important emails, the simple stuff. And then on the right-hand side, the things that may be frustrating me, like, oh, I'm worried about this bill, or I want to be able to express myself clearly on Nick's show tonight, for instance. These are the things that I'm not so sure about, where there's a bit of indecision, and I trust that the universe, my source energy, is going to take care of those things, and
it has.
And it happens. It works. It helps if I keep it in the day and don't look too far into the future. But there's been times I've written stuff down and I'm thinking, there's a little bit of cynicism creeping in, and I'm thinking, no, this doesn't really work. I'm just writing for the sake of it. And then weeks later, I'll go back and refer over the old lists and the things I've written down and the things I didn't quite believe, and they've all worked out. They've been absolutely fine every time, 100%. Maybe not immediately, maybe there's a buffer of time, but those things that I want, I write them down, I let go of them, and they do get taken care of. I mean, the main thing I can say is that I have a happy life. I feel good most of the time. The times I don't feel good, I have a set of tools that will make me feel good and get me into a better feeling place. I've had a lot of contrast in my life. I had life-saving surgery when I was a toddler, grew up with asthma, got into a lot of trouble with drugs and falling in with the wrong crowd. And it's like the person I am today is so far removed from that tearaway that it is like two completely different people. I wouldn't recognise myself if that old me walked into the room.
Wow.
It's a great life. It really is.
That's absolutely amazing. And just a last question before I bring Patricia on. What was a turning point for you that said, I'm going to put pen to paper or fingers to keyboards and I'm going to do the process and I'm going to see how it goes? Was it a flashbulb moment, or was it a gradual thing, or
I think
that turning point?
Well, like I was saying, I had a lot of contrast when I was younger, and I got involved with drugs, and I got into trouble with the law, and when I got to a time where I just couldn't carry on anymore, I discovered the 12-step fellowships of Alcoholics and Narcotics Anonymous, which gave me an introduction to spirituality and spiritual principles, and they gave me the permission to create a higher power of my own understanding, my own belief, rather than following any dogmatic religion. And years later, probably about, I'd say, the end of 2006, 2007, things weren't going too well for me. My granddad had died. My relationship, I discovered the girl I was with was cheating on me. I was in a serious depression. The stress had a big impact on my health, wasn't in a very good space, and I was looking for some kind of answer, and I was crying out, please God, help me to find a spiritual path that is right for me. Couldn't face the thought of organised religion, and that's not for everybody. Some people may love the religions they're part of, and I never want to criticise or say. But within a period of months, I came across, like so many people did, The Secret. And my first, I suppose originally when I saw it, I was a little bit prejudiced, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not sure about this, I don't really know but when I actually listened to it, I thought, well, this is all the stuff I already knew, all the stuff I'd been taught so many years previously, just reworded in a way that made it so appropriate to where I was, that I decided to explore it further. I was very fortunate to get the original copy of The Secret with Esther Hicks in it. And over the next few months, I researched nearly every speaker who was in the film, and it was the Abraham material that seemed to make the most sense and seemed to offer me the easiest path. It was the less resistance. And that has been, I suppose I've been most diligent now over the last 2 years, and I've seen some amazing changes, and the feeling of being in the vortex I can compare with the spiritual awakenings I've had before in earlier days. The difference being is because it's all coming from inside me, it's consistent. The high is consistent. It's yes, I'll have times when I dip out of it and I'm not feeling so great, but they're the minority. The majority of the time I'm so amazingly positive, I shock myself.
That's so cool. Yeah, and I can quote you. I think you described the secret as some hippie crap when you first
Yeah, that. I was trying to,
I could
that was
start
my,
quoting you guys.
that was my initial. I'd seen a thread on a message board where it was pretty much described as such, and rather than go and investigate it myself, and I listened to the cynics, and then when I did finally come across it, I was like, oh right, okay, yeah, this all makes sense to me.
Cool, thank you so much. I'm just going to mute you now, have a word with Patricia, and I think Marzia's entered the building, so we'll get everyone on for a big mix-up. So thank you, Paul, that was brilliant, and I'll see you shortly.
See you soon.
Bye. So, hopefully, any minute now, we should have Patricia.
Hi. Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks.
So I haven't seen you or spoken to you for like 2 weeks, but it feels like forever. How's life been for you? Have you seen or been or done or any synchronicities or any seminars or anything like that?
Yeah. So the big thing was going to see Bob Proctor live, and it was just like a business seminar, but with obviously with the law of attraction mixed in, and
Sorry to interrupt. Tell us who Proctor is and why he resonates with you and stuff.
All right. Yes. So from the film The Secret, he was basically pretty much the start. Well, after on the second Secret, when the second version of The Secret, where Esther has been removed, he was basically like the main speaker, like the star of The Secret, and he teaches the law of attraction, and his specialty is becoming wealthy, making money through deliberate creation. He's like a master law of attraction teacher. I went to the Bob Proctor seminar, and he was amazing. I just think that he's been doing this for 50 years, and he's got such a high vibration that when he does speak, it's just you just feel so inspired and hopeful. Like you might go in thinking, oh, I'm just, I wish my situation was better, and I wish I had more money. But by the time, he's finished the seminar, you just feel really hopeful. He really just draws you in because obviously he knows himself and he's, well connected to himself. That was the highlight, going to see Bob Proctor.
I was just asking you, what is his spin on it? What does he like? Is it practical process? Is it visualization? What's his kind of take on the whole thing? What makes him him?
I would say, he uses all the usual things. Like he does talk about meditation, and on one of his programs, he actually says you should actually sit down in a quiet place for 10 to 20 minutes, about 3 times a day, and just try and visualize how you want your future. I would say his big thing is probably repetition. In order to change your paradigms. So he will say, he said that he's read the book Think and Grow Rich. He's been reading it for 50 years. So that's his big thing, is changing paradigms through repetition. So repeat the process, for example, you keep talking about asking this is given. Mm-hmm. So he would say, for example, just keep reading that over and over again until you fully absorb the information and you become that. And he's also very results focused, so he'd be saying you might know the information in asking this is given, but if you're not doing it and you're not getting the results and you don't know it, you need to keep repeating it, you need to keep reading this information. Or in my case, as I was watching loads of Abraham DVDs, just repeating to try and just kind of change my paradigms.
Wow, and that's an interesting thing, because I think in the repetition, all it is just a training of yourself to shift consciousness, because again, like me and Paul were saying, you can kind of default into that, and that actually brings me to a good question to you. Are there any times that you go into kind of default mode, and there are just days or weeks that you're like, leave the Abraham, leave all this positive thinking crap, I'm just going to be, or how do you keep yourself focused and on top of it all?
I definitely had that because I've been listening to Abraham for about a year now. So I would say within up until about 2 months ago, I was definitely having that frequently. Because, at the basis of it, it's like your subconscious mind hasn't really accepted it. And also, you're not used to taking responsibility for the contrast. So yeah, I mean, up to 2 months ago, it would happen frequently, and I would just have even a whole week of going back to my old self and, you know, kind of watching the news and all that kind of thing. And I would say about 2 months ago, I had a turning point when, I don't know, for some reason, it just finally sunk in. And I think what's helped me is listening to different teachers from the film The Secret. So as well as I started off with you know, really loads of Abraham Hicks stuff, you know, 30 the DVDs, the audiobooks, then moving on to other teachers, and I found it really helped to kind of integrate the information. Now I'm willing to accept the contrast, to accept my responsibility for the contrast, and it doesn't happen so much now. You know, obviously I've got to find ways to. Yeah, I mean, if I do feel negative, I'm more aware of it. But I don't really chuck the whole thing away. I don't do that anymore because I've just fully accepted it. And if there's contrast, I know somehow I'm in vibrational resonance with it, and I have attracted it to myself, and I just have to accept it.
Wow, that is huge. Anything else you want to share before I bring Marzia on? Any experiences or synchronicities or just anything you want to throw in there?
The biggest synchronicity was the two people to do with courses I've signed up to. In March earlier this year, I met this person at the International Fitness Showcase, and he's doing a course helping us set up our own weight loss club so that we can generate, you know, help people lose weight and also generate a second income. So I met him in March. And then at the Bob Proctor seminar, there was this other guy who's doing a course teaching people how to trade on the foreign exchange markets.
Oh wow!
So I signed up. I signed up to this course with this other guy.
Who was the name of that? Just out of interest, sorry.
The name of the guy is called Greg Secker.
Oh, I've heard of him. That looks like fun.
Exactly. So he was at the Bob Proctor seminar. He was one of the speakers.
Oh, he's sorry to interrupt, but yeah, I saw him speak, and I was quite interested because he's like, before I go, I close my eyes and I tune in, and I mean, obviously it was business speak, but it was I just go with my gut feeling and stuff. But yeah.
He does. There is a holistic side to it as well, kind of like a holistic side to it as well. So, you know, and there's a whole like bit on psychology when he's teaching, you know, in the course.
Yeah.
So I signed up to this guy, and then I had second thoughts. I'm thinking, I wasn't even sure if I could trust him, because with the other guy, the fitness guy, I totally trusted him because I met him in person, and I knew everything he talks about fitness and nutrition, and everything he talks about I know is right and accurate. But with Greg, I'm not sure if I trust him. So I went down to the office. I was thinking maybe I should just get a refund. I went down to the office, and I saw this poster called about the youth. It was called the Youth Leadership Summit. And I spoke to a couple of people, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. I come home, and I turn on the computer, and then on this, the fitness guy, he's called Steve Jack, on his Facebook page, there's a picture of him with Greg Secker at this Youth Leadership Summit. And I hadn't put two and two together, and basically, these two people know each other, and they work together on this Youth Leadership Summit. And it was good for me because I thought, you know what? Now I know I can trust him, that this guy's legitimate, and I haven't just signed up to some bogus course, basically. It was amazing. So I thought, I met Steve in March, you know, at this International Fitness Showcase. I see Greg at the Bob Proctor seminar. I sign up to both of their courses, and I have no idea that they've actually worked together, and they know each other, and it's just given me such confidence in the course and in my decision as well, in my decision making. So that's like a synchronicity that really, it was good because it gave me confidence.
Oh, well, and that's a really good story, because sometimes you do take that kind of, you go with your gut and then you second guess and you think, did I make the right decision or what's going on? And the universe, as long as you kind of keep it in a good space, the universe will say to you, hey, we're going to confirm that with you, and it did perfectly. Because that sounds like, let me know how that goes. That looks like a really fun thing. I think it's forex exchange and stuff, and it just looks fun. It really does. So let me know how it goes.
Okay.
So thank you for that. Hopefully I'll be able to check in with you guys before the end of the show, but we are coming to the end. So if you, Paul, and Lucinda, or whoever want to think of some final words to close on, and then I'm going to have a word with Marzia. so hopefully she's there. So I'll see you in a bit, Patricia. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thanks.
So Marzia, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can indeed. Hello, my dear. How are you?
Hi, I'm really good too. And how are you?
I'm very, very well, very refreshed and glad to be mixing it up though with all you wonderful looking edge creators. So yeah, I just want to rampage a little bit about Marzia. I absolutely adore you.
Me.
You were one of obviously the stars of my film, and
Yeah.
one of the first things you said to me was, I don't know if I've got anything to say or my English isn't that great, but you're so beautifully eloquent. Your words are exquisite. The picture that you paint, the stories that you tell, I just love it. And I do remember also when you first came to my group, and actually I remember when each of you, Patricia and Paul, and all your first times in my group, and I was just struck by your energy and your knowingness, and here we are mixed it up.
Yeah.
So yes. So how have you been? I haven't had you on my radio show, so do you want to give a little bit of intro about you, or what processes do you enjoy, or anything else?
Sure. My name is Marzia. I come from Italy, and I've been getting to know about Law of Attraction like 2 years ago, and it did change my awareness of my life, and a lot of many things have been happening, and I really appreciate more life than I used to do before. I've been experiencing a lot of synchronicity all the time, and it's just fun, and I don't know.
Which is your favourite process? You speak beautifully about the power of appreciation, or, do you have anything that you want to... If I had a complete beginner who'd never heard about this stuff before, what would you want to say to them?
It's basically... appreciation is finding positive aspects about things, and doing so you learn to appreciate the essence of things rather than just the manifestations, which are things that you create yourself with your positive way of thinking. So you get to the heart of things, which is the most important things, because many people, they do a lot of things, they get on with life, or they have lots of goals, but what matters most is not about what you do, but how you do it and how you feel while doing it. That means going with the flow. And when you go with the flow, you're following your path. And it's such a fun experience to have a lot of clues from the universe. And you just stay connected to your destiny. Because you can tell yourself or plan a sort of life that you want to achieve, but it doesn't make much sense when you don't actually enjoy it. But when you understand to go with the flow, and then things just unfold and everything comes easily, and you just become more positive, you become more energized, and what life is about. So that's what I've been. My awareness is really changed. So I'm really proud of that, and I would like to express that with everyone, and I hope I'm sure more and more people will acknowledge this challenge in the world, and we will get together more and more. And I just feel the love is increasing in the world, and as I see it, then think in my life to just get better and better. So.
Wow, I love it. Do you want to share, because you've got like a few minutes left, do you want to share any manifestation or synchronicity or any stories either about me and your partner or anything else that you've had?
Well, I could share the story about my partner, the way I met him, which was basically, I was working in this coffee shop, and I want to explain detail about the coffee shop where I was working. My sister, I was living in Italy, my sister came to London for 6 months, and she showed me a picture of a coffee shop, this cup of the coffee shop. And while I was looking at the picture, I experienced this feeling of warmth and coziness and love about this cup. So it happens that when I was applying for a job, I went to this coffee shop. I applied in many different places, but I did get a job in this particular coffee shop, Caffè Nero, and I did get the job in there. And this was a place where I met my partner as well. There is the father of my 2 children also. So I would just say, whenever you have a feeling about something, and it feels really good just to go with it, because that's the right way, and that's your future, maybe even. So, are you there, Nick?
Yeah. Oh wow, I love that.
So,
And
the thing is, I could say many different stories, but every day something amazing happens to me, to the point, yesterday I was thinking about, I was asking the universe something, like a sign, and I was thinking about a partner. His name is Jordan. And the guy just passed by, passed, and I see he's wearing a t-shirt saying Jordan. And this was in a matter of seconds. And there is like things that, as you ask, the universe delivers to you, and the more you allow it, the quicker it comes. Like I know one thing that is a sign for me is when I look in the sky, there's lots and lots of birds. They fly with me. So everyone is got his own version of whatever happens in their life. So. It's very important to be connected today. I could be telling stories all day long, there is so many, so I don't know which one to pick. So.
Oh wow. Thank you, gorgeous. I'll speak to you we've got a few minutes left. I want to get Princess Nadira on the air to say how life is so good. So how good is life?
Life is really, 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 really good. Life is really, really good when you go to bed at night wondering, what am I going to do tomorrow? What fun, what exciting things are going to happen tomorrow? And you wake up on morning feeling the same way. Yeah, so life is really, really, really good. I mean, we're living in London, and look at weather. It was not gorgeous today. Part of the day was gorgeous and sunny, and it's not that cold. We're in October, so I'm loving it. Life's really good. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, we've got like 1 minute left, so I'm just going to bring everyone on. So, everyone's live: Patricia, Paul, Marzia, Lucinda. Hello. Everyone say hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Okay, everyone just say life is good, or some kind of positive affirmation.
Life is good. I'm looking forward to what's next.
Things happen beyond our wildest dreams, and I've had some pretty wild dreams.
Thank you, Paul. Patricia, do you have any final words?
I like what Oprah said on that surrender video. Just let it go. If there's something you want, don't kind of build resistance around it. Just kind of let it go. Like Paul was saying, let the manager deal with it.
Cool. Lucinda, anything?
I would actually agree with what Patricia's just said. Google the surrender video of Oprah's. It is such a powerful clip. That combined with Abraham Hicks' teachings will blow your minds off. So Google that clip.
Cool. Thank you, love. And Marzia?
Yeah, I want to say to leave this message, which is the purest love lies where it is least affected, in an attachment.
Wow. So that's our show. Thank you, guys. Thank you to all my wonderful hosts and all the technology and everything that's made this possible. I will see you all soon, and have a fantastic week. See ya.
Same to you, Nick. Have a great time.
Thank you for listening to the Psychic Training Ground, the most encouraging, supportive, uplifting place to be. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and we'll see you soon. All is well. There is great love here for you.